Have you ever been late for work because you absolutely could not find your car keys? Or maybe you've had to pay a frustrating late fee just because a bill got lost in a giant pile of mail. Let's be real. We've all been there. If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine two classic Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. But instead of sitting neatly on a shelf, they're completely buried under a chaotic, overwhelming mountain of tangled yarn, scattered buttons, and old receipts. They're desperately trying to find their things, but they literally can't even see over the mess. That suffocating feeling, well, that is exactly what we are going to untangle today. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are exploring a really fascinating section from the book 12 Steps to a Good Life by Thomas Aletheia. I was totally blown away to learn how the book takes a highly structured framework called the 5S method and transforms it from an industrial powerhouse into a super practical tool for personal organization and decluttering. It's just an incredible approach to getting your physical space, and by extension, your mind, completely back in order. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our 6-part roadmap to rescue our dolls from the chaos. We'll look at the weight of clutter, introduce the 5S method itself, and then walk step by step through sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain, before wrapping up with reclaiming your mental clarity. So, kicking things off with Section 1, the weight of clutter, and the very real cost of chaos. And this brilliantly illustrates the problem. The source text makes a profound point right off the bat. The symptoms of disorganization might seem easy to brush off on a day-to-day basis, but they are cumulative, and they are systemic. The toll of that chaos is surprisingly heavy. Disorganization literally creates anxiety and kills your motivation. It feels exactly like carrying heavy weights around all day long, leaving you constantly overwhelmed. But once you organize, you open the door to quality time, serenity, significantly less stress, and a much clearer mind. The effort, the book argues, is absolutely 100% worth it. The book uses this classic English proverb, a place for everything and everything in its place. It's incredibly simple, right? But it perfectly captures the ultimate goal of the system we're about to explore. When every single item in your life has a designated home, that heavy, dragging weight of chaos just evaporates. Moving into Section 2, introducing the 5S method. Taking this from the factory floor straight to your home. Now that we understand the problem, it's time to reveal the framework to fix it. The 5S method is actually a Japanese methodology originally created for manufacturing. Imagine massive factory floors where efficiency and safety are quite literally a matter of life and death. The sheer brilliance of the book's approach is taking this industrial manufacturing powerhouse and scaling it all the way down to our Raggedy Dolls living room. It turns out the exact same principles that keep a global supply chain running smoothly are highly effective for organizing your closet or your home office. It's a total game changer. Here is a high-level overview of those 5 strict steps. Sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Listen, this is not about just randomly shoving things into a drawer right before guests come over. It's a very intentional, linear journey from total chaos to complete, self-sustaining order. Let's break down exactly how you execute the very first one.
Which brings us to Section 3. Step 1. Sort, focusing on removing the unnecessary.
This is where we tackle the sheer volume of stuff. Imagine our dolls finally standing up and facing that massive, intimidating pile of buttons and yarn. So the crucial point is eliminating the unnecessary. You cannot organize clutter, you can only get rid of it. The source text gives some highly practical advice here. If you don't need it, get it out of your space. But what if you aren't sure? Well, the book suggests testing it out by placing those questionable items in temporary storage. If time passes and you realize you don't actually miss them or need them, then you can confidently donate or dispose of them. Start small if you have to. Put away one item or clear one single shelf. But the volume absolutely has to go down first. On to Section 4. Step 2, set in order, literally putting everything in its place. Once you've sorted and eliminated the junk, you have to figure out exactly where your remaining necessary items should live. Setting in order means arranging things so they are incredibly easy to access, but more importantly, easy to return to their proper place, because that's where things usually fall apart, right? The source text specifically recommends using bins and containers to group things together. It emphasizes making sure those containers are stackable, transportable, and manageable for you to handle entirely on your own. Remember our proverb? This is the step where you are physically creating the place for everything. Next up, Section 5, shine, standardize, and sustain. This is all about maintaining the system. We group these final steps together because they are the maintenance phase that keeps your space pristine long after that initial cleanup. Shine simply means cleaning the workspace regularly so standards don't slip. Standardize is where it gets really interesting. It means establishing actual schedules to maintain the first 3 steps. The text explicitly advises treating decluttering not as a vague, I'll get to it eventually idea, but as a scheduled appointment. You literally block out the time on your calendar, you commit to it, and you do the work. Let's move to S and see how this builds into the final S, which is sustain. This is about locking the entire system in place using micro habits. The author highlights the 2-minute rule, which is fantastic. If a task takes under 2 minutes to complete, don't put it on a to-do list. Just do it immediately. Sustaining the system also means building incredibly small, manageable daily habits. Things like making your bed or washing your dishes right away. These tiny actions compound to create a rock-solid structure of order in your life. And finally, Section 6, reclaiming your mental clarity, the ultimate payoff of the whole process. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that we are discussing the ultimate payoff of the 5S method, and it goes far beyond just having a tidy room. It turns out the Source's core philosophy views physical decluttering as a direct path to internal peace. When you remove physical distractions and unused items, you aren't just clearing floor space. You are actively shedding psychological baggage. You are quite literally freeing up your own mental and emotional energy so you can focus on building what the book calls a good life. I want to wrap up this explainer with a truly profound quote directly from the text that beautifully summarizes everything we've talked about today. It says, "If you feel the weight of clutter upon you, it isn't the physical things that are weighing you down. It is the decisions you have to make about who you are and what you want." So, I'll leave you with this. Take a look around your own space today. What unmade decisions are your piles of clutter representing? Are you ready to use the 5S method to finally make those decisions, clear the space, and reclaim your mental clarity? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy organizing!